Hello, everyone. We're so happy that you're joining us today. Again, we encourage you to enter your name, what agency you're with, and what made you smile this week. Again, thank you for joining us for the Utilizing Property Tax-Aide to Improve the Lives of Seniors webinar, brought to you from the learning community, as with our strategic partners, AARP. I am Lily Seals. I am the Director of Practice Transformation. And just to start off, we like to give acknowledgement to the land that we live and or work on. So every community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who contributed their hopes, dreams, and energy to making the history that led to this moment. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to interrupting trauma and beginning the journey of healing and resilience. So we will begin this webinar by acknowledging what has been buried, honoring the truth, and embracing a new future, especially for our children. I would like to acknowledge that this financial empowerment webinar, I am in Charleston, South Carolina. It is being held on the traditional lands of the Kuso people, and pay my respect to the elders, both past and present, who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. And if you would like to look up the different the information of where you are, there is a link, and you see that in this in the presentation, where you may find what land that you're on. And if you'd like to enter that into the chat, you may do so. We like to start all of our webinars, but really all of our activities, by centering in the promise of community action. So if you would like to say it with me, to yourself or out loud, or at home or at the office, please do so. Community action changes people's lives, embodies the spirit of hope, improves communities, and makes America a better place to live. We care about the entire community, and we are dedicated to helping people help themselves and each other. This is our practice transformation team. It is led by Tiffany Marley, who is our Senior Vice President. We also have Tiffany Day, who's our Director of Whole Family Approach Innovations. We have Gabriel Smith, who's our Senior Associate for Learning and Dissemination. Amy Roberts, who's our Program Associate for Learning Communities Resource Center. And you all have also met and heard from Lord Griffin, who is our Program Associate for the Learning Communities Resource Center. So we're going to go into our agenda. We've had our welcome. We will hear from AARP about the Tax-Aide program. There will be a demonstration. We will have time for Q&A, and then we will close the webinar. So we want to talk about, this webinar is brought to you by the Learning Community Resource Center. And that is funded by the Office of Community Services. And we want to make sure that the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Administration for Children and Families, Office of Community Services, Division of Community Assistance. This is a part of our Financial Empowerment Learning Community Group, which is an open group, which means that anyone within our network may join. We focus on financial literacy, financial education, as well as asset management for those who are living in and or experiencing poverty. We are now going to talk about our wonderful speakers for today. We have Kylie Brock, who is the Partnership Manager for the Property Tax-Aide program at the AARP Foundation. She is responsible for connecting community-based organizations and other organizations designed to assist older adults bringing the Property Tax-Aide program to their communities. Prior to joining AARP, Kylie was the director of the DC One Stop operations and oversaw local government agencies to improve the DC workforce system. We will also have Karen Tan, who is the program manager for the Property Tax-Aide program at AARP Foundation. The Property Tax-Aide assists low-income older adults to stay in their homes and communities by providing access to property tax refund and credit programs. Prior to joining AARP Foundation, Karen was the Senior Wellness Coordinator at the Montgomery County, Maryland Department of Health and Human Services Asian American Health Initiative. With that, I will turn it over to Karen.
Well, thank you so much, Lily, for that introduction. Thank you, Laura, again, for coordinating everything. I want to thank everyone attending today for your time, Kylie and I, and then David Liss, our new partnerships manager that joined us earlier this week. We are very excited just to share more with you on what Property Tax-Aide is all about and how it could potentially help your agency serve your communities. So with that said, I will hand it off to Kylie to tell you more.
All right, thank you, Karen, and thank you everyone, like Karen said, for attending. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. And we will be doing a presentation for you all about the Property Tax-Aide program. If you all have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to write them in the chat. Karen will be, she will be responsible for answering any questions. If at the end of the presentation, there's some questions unanswered, with the time that we have left, we will go through the chat just to make sure that we have answered everyone. So with that, I'm going to be sharing my screen. So in addition to the presentation, I will be doing a demo for you all of the Property Tax-Aide tool so that you all have an idea of what it actually looks like when you're going to be using it. So I just want to point out here that if you have any additional questions or would like to talk further about the Property Tax-Aide program following the presentation, you can contact me at kbrock@aarp.org. That's kbrock, B-R-O-C as in cat, K, at aarp.org. All right, so just to start into the presentation, I'm going to go into what exactly is the Property Tax-Aide program. So the Property Tax-Aide program combines a high-tech tool with a high-touch solution, and in turn results in a community empowerment. So the Property Tax-Aide program primarily works with community-based organizations to provide a free, best-in-class fintech tool, the Property Tax-Aide digital platform, to empower older adults to gain access to millions of property tax relief throughout the nation. So like I said, it combines high technology. So we have a PTA digital tool, which is equipped with a eligibility screener, and an application wizard so that you can walk through the whole application process with your clients, and with high touch. So we provide a training for you all to give to your staff and volunteers, and to be able to provide a personal touch in that social interaction, which gives us the Property Tax-Aide program. So the Property Tax-Aide program was piloted in 2019. Due to the pandemic, 2020, they piloted a virtual tool, a virtual process, which we are still using today. And then we have served over 16,000 individuals, which resulted in about over $8 million in projected benefits to low-income adults in their communities. So what is the challenge that the Property Tax-Aide program is looking to address? So it's estimated that only a mere 8% of low and moderate income adults across the country are utilizing property tax relief programs available within our community. So that's a very low number, and that means there's a high percentage of individuals who are just not taking advantage of this resource. And so it's estimated that about 20 million adults are moderately cost burdened. And so that's defined as spending over 30% of their income on housing costs. And that includes a 9.6 million who are severely cost burdened, which is defined as spending over 50% of their gross income on housing costs. So knowing that these individuals are spending such a large amount of their income, on just their day-to-day, yearly living expenses, it's easy to see why many individuals do not have the tools and resources at the end of the year to be able to pay for high property taxes. And so, the COVID-19 pandemic has even further hampered that. As we all have known, a lot of individuals lost their job. So nearly 1/3 of American older adults have suffered some type of financial loss due to the pandemic, which it was either as the result of workplace closures or reduced hours. And so even those individuals who may have became employed again, as we have began opening up different services again, it's still a lot to kind of come back and be able to get back on track. So we know that there's probably even more individuals that need the support now more than ever. So we're looking at some of the pain points that we acknowledge as a program. So we have found that the top reasons that people are not accessing these services is awareness, eligibility, and completing the application. So for older adults, like we said, only 8% of them are aware that these property tax programs even exist. And so for community organizations, raising awareness can be time consuming and requires marketing materials and a lot of outreach. And so some individuals just do not have the resources to get this information out to the public. As far as eligibility, there may be some older adults that know that they about these programs, but they're just not really even sure if they qualify. And so as a community-based organization, determining eligibility can be imprecise and can be challenging. It's not always clear, especially depending on what state you live in, the requirements. And so that can deter community-based organizations from wanting to offer these services. And then lastly is the application. So some of the applications can be complex. They're not maybe easily found on websites. I know that even, some websites you have to go click through a whole bunch of pages before you get to the application. And so older adults who are not tech savvy might find this to be a challenge. And then for community-based organizations, manually filling out these applications can take a significant amount of time and effort that they just don't have. So in turn, these problems mean that ultimately there's a loss of revenue in the community because people do not have that extra money to kind of spend because they already know that, to be able to keep their residences and age in place, they have to be able to prepare and save for these tax bills. So then that's where PTA comes in. So we are hoping to create a solution that all individuals feel is easy and help to empower low-income older adults. So like I said earlier, we combine high technology with the high touch solutions. And so for community-based organizations, the PTA tool easily integrates with any kind of tax assistance programs that you're already offering. If you are doing benefit screening, any financial kind of counseling, this program will easily embed into those services that you're already providing. And so we also provide a training, like I said earlier, to help upskill your staff and volunteers who will be able to be preparing these applications so that they can feel empowered that they are, they know what they're doing and being able to assist your customers and clients to your best of their ability. And so for all older adults, we provide this information of the property tax relief program that they know that they can apply to going forward year after year. They're able to share this information with their own communities, and so that more people are becoming aware and educated about property tax relief in their areas. The PTA trainer provides immediate results on eligibility. So the people are confident that when they're filling out this application, as long as they're providing accurate information, that they are eligible for the program before even mailing off their applications. And so the PTA application wizard is an application, prepares the application for the customer. And so, benefits can be as little as $750 tax credit, which we see in DC, up to $2,700 that we see in Minnesota, which in turn puts that money back into the community for people to be able to spend. So the Property Tax-Aide digital tool is uniquely built and tested by tax assistant volunteers. So each state has their own digital tool. We update them each year based off your state guidelines so that you are sure that the application is accurate and something that is, you can feel confident in providing. So it's easy to learn and web-based. There's nothing to download. You can just go on with the link we provide you all to the training and do the training modules to learn about the tool and the property tax-aide program. And so the form is easy to use, quick guided questions, a simple form, click to answer. If for some reason you have any kind of questions, there's built-in resources within the tool that you are able to get kind of answers to any kind of questions that may not be immediately clear to you. You can be sure that it's going to be accurate because there's a built-in calculator into the tool to easily add up any kind of calculations that you may need to do for the application, and performs quality checks to make sure that you are not missing any information when you are submitting it to your local tax offices. And like I said earlier, there's a virtual model now that we are going to continue to use because, a lot of people do like the ease of being able to connect with their clients or virtually, whether that be through the phone or a platform like Zoom, so that you can continue to provide this service to those who maybe even be homebound or just maybe not comfortable with coming out. And then it's, like I said, it easily integrates into any kind of free tax service preparations that you're already offering, benefits, greeting, credit counseling, any kind of those financial support services that you may already be offering at your locations. So the PTA digital tool easily guides clients through their eligibility screener and application wizard. So you would log on, you can use a laptop, PC, Chromebook, or tablet to the website where the digital tool website. You would input the information to the eligibility screener. All the eligibility questions are predetermined by your state and built into the tool. And you will get immediate results to say, hey, yes or no, you are or are not eligible for this program. So that if they aren't eligible, you're not wasting time. And then if they are eligible, you know that you can submit their application with confidence. You will go through an application wizard if they are eligible and answer any kind of all of the predetermined questions for the applications, and then you will be done. So the application will be, the tool will perform a quality check of the application, and you can print it out and sign it. So I'm going to stop here to show you all the digital tool. And so initially, when you all had registered, we were told that the majority of you all were going to be from Missouri. So I'm going to be showing you all the Missouri tool today. So this is the digital tool. And so Allie here is our spokesperson for PTA. And so you would come here, you would know you're on the test site because it has this big red banner over here for you all to know that you are used in the proper site. So you would come here, select your state.
Kylie, we're not seeing the demo, we're only seeing the PowerPoint.
Okay, let me 1 second. Let me stop and reshare. How about now? Can you all see the screen now, the demo?
Yes.
Okay,
Kylie.
I'm sorry. So yes, I'm sorry then. I'll walk back through that. So here we are as Allie. She is the PTA spokesperson for Property Tax-Aide. And so you would know that you're on the testing site and not the actual site because we have this banner up here that will appear. So you don't have to worry about being in a wrong site or anything like that. So like I said, since majority of you had registered initially were from Missouri, I'm going to show you all the Missouri tool. You would scroll down here. I'm going to click on Missouri. And so the first screen you're going to see is a client consent form. And so this is basically just giving the client information. This was drafted by the AARP legal team to say, hey, I do consent to giving this individual my information to determine my eligibility for the tax credit, as well as to help me complete my application. So you go here, you will push I agree. Scroll down here. If they were interested in opting in, they can check this box to receive additional information about services and marketing materials from the AARP Foundation. You would enter their application here. Their email here. If they were applying with another partner or spouse here, it would go in this box right here. And then you would see your organization here in the drop-down box. You would click on your organization, and then you would go to the next screen. So here we are going to, we are looking at a survey. So the survey is completely optional to the clients, but it's basically just an opportunity for the Property Tax-Aide program to collect demographic information about the individuals we are serving. And so I'm going to go through the survey because it's very quick, but like I said, it's optional. So someone can choose to not participate if they do not want to. So the first question asks you, how many times have you visited an AARP Foundation Property Tax-Aide location to find out your eligibility or complete an application for property tax relief? And then you go click there. Tell them how they found out about the property tax-aide program. And then it's basically saying you're almost done and just reminding them that their responses are anonymous. You'll put in their birth year here. Their gender, their race, if they were Hispanic, Latino, or of Spanish origin or descent, and how many people are part of their household, including them. And what their annual income was more than $32,000 last year. And so that's the completes the survey. Those are all the questions. So now, So now we are coming into the eligibility piece. So you would come here, you would click your county. I'm going to click on Andrew County here. And so based on this, it says what qualification best applies to you. So you would read these questions in the individual and select which best describes their situation. For this one, I'm just going to click the first one. You or your spouse were 65 years of age or older as of December 31st, 2021, and a Missouri resident the entire calendar year. Can you truthfully state that you do not employ illegal or unauthorized aliens? I'm going to put yes. Which best describes your situation in 2020? I'm going to push owned and occupied. Did you pay real estate taxes on the home you occupied? I'm going to push yes here. Do you own a home with more than 5 acres of land? I'm going to push no here. Then you will select your filing status. Your total household income will go here. And then you click next. And then Allie pops up again and says, congratulations, you may be eligible for the Missouri property tax credit. And so we always say may be eligible just because, like I said, this information is based off what the information they're providing you. And if for some reason information is not accurate, then obviously that may change their eligibility. So then we would continue to the application. And so you would just go through, it's asking their personal information here. And you put their name in, all of this personal information, scroll down here. Their county of residence is already filled in. Their designation is already selected because we put that on a previous page. And something else to note, so for Missouri, you can do previous years. So once you are done this form, you're welcome to kind of go back and click through 2019, 2018, with the individuals to make sure that they're receiving their full refunds if they were eligible for prior years. And so then, one other thing I want to point out, I'm going to go back for a second. So as you're going through the application, if for some reason you're unsure of anything, they have these built-in icons here, these eye icons that you can click in, and then it will give you further information about the question that or the option that you're inquiring about. So I'm going to go to the next page. Here you would enter all of their financial information. And again, if there was some questions, it'll tell you which form you can find this information in. You would fill all this out here. And then you would put their total property tax amount here. And then it would give you the credit information. And so once that populates, you put their banking information in here. They would sign it, date it, and you would be the preparer. You put your signature there and answer the rest of these questions and complete the form. So then you come back to the review mode. So review mode is perfect because we can make sure that you are not missing any fields. So we see here that I have not entered this information. So it's going to show a red circle with an exclamation point just to let you know these are required fields and you need to make sure that you're inputting this information. But for the sake of time, I'm obviously going to skip that piece. Same thing for this page. And so once you have reviewed it and made sure that you entered all the information, you would click here and say, I have reviewed and completed this form. And then it will give you the option to print or download. So for the sake of this presentation, I'm going to download it. And then you will also be shown. So for some reason you went through, you saw that you thought you got everything, you thought you input all the information, but you actually might have missed one or two things. This will come up again to say, prompt you to say, hey, please go back and to enter the information so you can be sure that everything is accurate and completely filled out. So, but for the sake of this, I'm going to continue downloading. And so we will open up here. This is the PDF version of what we just filled out. So as you all see here, this is the consent form that you filled out. They will have a copy of that for their own records. And then voila, you have your actual Missouri form filled out. So all the information that you input into the wizard will be automatically input into this form. As you see here, I put in that we lived in Andrew County, so that's already written in here. You would scroll down, you can do another review check if you would like with the person. They would sign it here, and then you would mail it to the appropriate party. So the mailing information goes here. It's right here, I'm sorry. The taxation division's information is where this will go to. If they had any questions, they can contact your tax office at this information here. And that is the simplicity of completing the form. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can go back to the presentation. All right, can you all see my screen again?
Yes.
All right. So in addition to access to the PTA tool, there are some other great things that are included with your becoming a member of the network member for the Property Tax-Aide program. And so as I stated earlier, the training is completely web-based. It's completely web-based and accessible online 24/7. I'm sorry. Completely web-based and access online 24/7. So the people are able to complete the training at their own pace. It typically could take about 30 minutes to an hour, or maybe longer, just depends on the person that's completing and how quickly they would like to move through the training. And once it's complete, you receive a certificate of accomplishment. The license software for the application that I saw you is completely free and web-based, so there's no software installation required. And it's worry-free on your end because the Property Tax-Aide program takes care of any annual software updates or upgrades each tax year. One of the founding member for the Property Tax-Aide network is actually Karen and David Nice, director of the program. So you can ensure that the person who's leading the program has a true investment in making sure that we are delivering a quality product and doing our best, providing the best service that we can to our clients. In addition to that, we have brand collaboration. So you would be promoted, your organizations will be promoted on AARP Foundation platforms, and we would provide you with co-branded marketing materials so that you're able to solicit volunteers if necessary, be able to hand out this information to clients to let them know that it's available and post across social media channels. And so we also provide data reports, which, working in nonprofits are really important as far as especially grant work and reporting. So we will provide you with data reports that highlight about how many people that you served at your individual organizations and how much rebates they have received since serving your clients. And then also support. So program guide, we provide a program guide that helps you talk through about implementing PTA at your organization. There's a help desk tool that's embedded right into the tool. If you ever need assistance, you can reach the help desk. Like I said, we provide any resources and marketing material to make sure that the program will be successful at your organization. And of course, we have dedicated staff such as myself, Karen, and David, who are available by email to support you as you are working through implementation or for any questions that you may have. So what comes next if you are interested? So the step one would be signing a MOU agreement between the Property Tax-Aide program and your organization. You will contact me directly and we could get that going. And so we will send the MOU for you all to review. Any changes or suggestions that you may have, you could suggest to us directly. And once we are both in agreement of the MOU, we would move forward with signing and executing it. Once your MOU process is signed, we would send you training materials that I spoke about, access to the training website, I'm sorry, the resources that we talked about as far as the implementation guide, marketing resources, and things like that. And once at least one person within your organization is trained on completes the PTA training, you guys are free to start using the service at your organization. There's no quotas that you have to meet. We just ask, that you use the tools, as much as you see necessary, and to be able to serve your clients, and you'll be ready to go. And so, you will get all those benefits and be able to kind of be an annual partner and, revisit the partnership as necessary, as you see fit. So that concludes my presentation. We hope that this has been useful to you all, and that you, if you have any interest, like I said, in becoming a PTA partner, you can contact me directly at the email address I provided earlier. And I know that I think Laura, when she sends out any kind of wrap up for this presentation, she will again send that information to you all. So I'm going to stop here and see if there's any other questions that are lingering in the box for Karen that she may want to just answer out loud now.
Yeah, thanks, Kylie. So I don't see any questions from anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have a question. I saw where it stated, talked about volunteer, having volunteers and a lot of community action agencies. This could certainly fall to staff, but a lot of our agencies also have VITA sites where we recruit volunteers. So is this something where we could also, just to clarify, can we recruit volunteers that may do this within our organization? And if so, are there any specific qualifications volunteers should have? Or have you found that anyone who may have certain qualifications that they're successful in providing, assistance to older adults for the property tax aid? That was a lot, so let me know if I need to break that up.
No, I think I got the question, but yes. So yes, you are absolutely able to utilize volunteers within your organization to provide these services. And so, like I said, our only obligation would be that the person who is providing it has completed the training, and that will qualify them to be able to be able to administer the service. Obviously, it's a plus if they do have experience with taxes or kind of like any benefit screening, but as long as they have completed the training and have a full understanding of the property tax aid program and how to utilize the tool, we don't set any restrictions on who you all allow to volunteer within your organization.
Great, thank you. So if anyone has any other questions, please enter that information in the chat. Just thinking, I know with volunteers, getting that clarification is very helpful, because sometimes we think we may work with staff, but if we can, also recruit, especially if we have VITA volunteers, that may be a very good synergy as well. So
yes, unlike our tax aid program, when you guys are using TaxSlayer, you don't have to be certified, IRS certified to use the tool that we provide.
Great.
All right, so if there aren't any questions, that concludes our presentation. Like I said, you guys can feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to do this presentation with any other people within your organizations that may need to see this before, be coming on board and moving forward with the network partner process. And we hope that you all found this useful. And like I said, yes, we're available to reach by email and look forward to hopefully collaborating with you all.
Thank you so much, Kylie, Karen. That was a great presentation, and welcome, David. So thank you all so much. After the webinar, we will certainly send out the recording and the slides. We'll also send out the information to contact. So it is in the chat. But you certainly, if you are interested in partnering with AARP, as I said, they're happy to do this presentation again. So please spread the word. because this is a great program, particularly for our older adults. All right, so we would appreciate it greatly if you would fill out our evaluation survey. Let us know how this webinar was. We'd love to have your feedback, and we certainly appreciate that. We have a few upcoming events that we also want to talk about. So we have our annual convention that will occur in September. It is I'm sorry, I'm moving a little too fast. I'm excited about our annual convention. So we do have our webinar Wednesday. So August 11th, we have our homelessness prevention diversion assistance webinar. So we've had about two webinars previously with our partner, the National Alliance to End Homelessness. So this is the third part of our series. So we welcome you to attend. And we also have a great educational opportunity with potential CEUs if you're interested in that as well. And we are our other event, because I'm still so excited about our annual convention that is coming up. And that is in September. It will be in Boston. It is a hybrid event. So you may register if you would like to attend in person, or if you would like to attend virtually. Our registration is open. We also have a preliminary schedule at a glance. So absolutely, if you are interested in attending, registration is still open, and we would love to see you, whether in person or virtual. We're going to talk about a few of our resources. So we do have our COVID-19 resource series. This is important, certainly as we have gone through the pandemic, but really looking at just the different innovations that have happened. So whether it's in technology, whether it's leveraging partnerships, applying lessons learned, trauma-informed agency response to COVID. We've been within this pandemic for probably about a year and a half, but we've learned some lessons, and this is a great resource series for agencies to access. We also have COVID-19 response in terms of community action gets vaccinated. So we have a video with all of our leaders, with a lot of our Community Action Network leaders, where they have gone and received the vaccination. So we encourage you to see that. Another exciting, resource, and what we really want to get the word out about, is the child tax credit. This is important because we want to ensure that all of our families know about the child tax credit awareness. If families have filed their taxes in the last 2 years, they will automatically receive the payments. But if they have not, they're still able to access these funds. So, we would really love for you to go to the childtaxcredit.gov website for those agencies that have or partner with a VITA site. You really can work with your organization to help families access this child tax credit. A few things that I have learned is, not only will they get the tax credit, but they can also receive some of the stimulus funds that they may not have received. And that can be a substantial amount when we talk about our families who are in, the greatest need. That's a lot of dollars that they can receive. So please get the word out. We appreciate, any outreach that we can give, particularly to our families who need these resources the most. We're going to talk a little bit about our Whole Family Approach Institute. We held an institute back in December, and this is all about peer learning and sharing. We have just a ton of resources about Whole Family Approach, what it is, how different organizations have implemented Whole Family Approach. So along with the Institute, we have other resources like Whole Family Approach design briefs, we have a lot of information on whole family approach. So if it's something that your organization is interested in, we highly recommend that you start with our Whole Family Approach Institute, and then you'll be able to access all of our other resources. We also have our online learning center, which is called Community Action Academy. This is free. It's free to our network. So you can go in and register. We have different courses that are available. Family-centered coaching, which is this is an integral part of the whole family approach. We have family-centered coaching 101, and we have advancing family-centered coaching. We plan on releasing more e-courses later as it relates to health intersections. There's just a wealth of information. It's self-paced and it is free. So it's a great way for the network to access great resources at no cost and in a time frame that works for you and works for your team. And then finally, this is our contact information. So if you need anything, you can contact us. We are here for you. We're so thankful that you are a part of the network. We know that the work that you do is so important in supporting families. And so if you reach out, we will respond. We will show up, and we're so thankful that you are a part of the network. And we want to thank Kylie and Karen and David for being with us today. Again, if you would like to reach out to them, we have their email address. It's been posted in the chat. Please do. It's a great partnership. It's a great way to help our families. So from older adults to the child tax credit, we can help generations. So thank you again for being with us today. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.